Bit of a heartbreaker, Sam. You look back with at the first quarter or the last quarter?
I mean, the whole game. They obviously jumped us, and we had a few issues in the first quarter. We didn't, thought we were pretty well prepared for the way the game would be played. There weren't a lot of surprises in the game. It was what we expected. They're a good side, and they played that way. And we didn't handle it as well early, and they took all their chances, so got away from us. But then on the other side, you're really pleased that we're able to get back in it and get in front. But then just not quite good enough for long enough to put away a good side.
What changed in that last quarter? Because you had sort of the general run of play for the previous couple of quarters there. What did you sort of identify in that fourth quarter?
I mean, I think there were some issues throughout the game. So we sort of couldn't fix the two issues. One was the clearance game. I think they were, if you do centre bounce and between arc stoppages, they were plus 17. So that makes it really difficult. And then if we took numbers to support that, then their defence looked really solid. Noble was a bit of an issue throughout the game, and but to fix the stoppage issue, we had to free him up, unfortunately. So that was the challenge of the game overall, and I was really pleased with the players' intensity, their efforts. You couldn't question. I'm sure people enjoyed watching that game of footy on TV, and the players, were all a bit battered and bruised, and but we don't come away with the 4 points because we just weren't quite good enough for long enough, and they're a good side.
You gave yourself the preparation. Did you think that showed in that middle half?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, I'm a bit torn because there's a part of me that thinks, we were 30-something points down in the second quarter, and it could easily have been a big loss. So the character that we showed and the belief in, no, we're okay. We know what to do, and we're gonna continue to execute to the best of our ability and see how far it gets us. There's a part of me that's pleased and proud of it, but there's also a part of me that we're not where we want to go just yet. And I think we've shown we're making progress in that direction, but we've got work to do to beat the best sides, and the Suns here, they're in that category.
You must have been thrilled with Nick Watson. It seemed like when everything was going, the tide was against you, he sort of helped arrest that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Warps last week that, and it was Wiz tonight, that when the rest of the game or the rest of its teammates it's not going that well, it's quite hard to be one who stands out and does the right thing at the right time and really has key moments. And for someone so young to be the one that we needed to rely on, without him in the first 40 minutes of the game, I think we were going to be well and truly out of it. So, and his challenge is to be able to do it for longer, and that's he's going to have to work on some things in his game to make sure that he can play that style of footy more often, not just game to game, but also within one game to be able to do it for a longer period of time. But that's what comes when you're 20 years old.
What do you think James Sicily has to do to get back to that best level? It seems, just looking from afar, like he's a little bit down on confidence at the moment.
I think he had a couple of core, games where he wasn't as good, but I was pretty pleased with his game. Like last week, he got coaches' votes, and I think this week he was pretty good. I mean, it was we moved him forward, and I thought he really gave us something. We needed a bit of energy and a bit of vibrancy in the front half, and some contest wins. I thought he was pretty good. He's maybe not kicking the ball quite as well as he has, but other than that, I think he's playing some good footy for us, and I thought he led well tonight.
You mentioned being a bit battered and bruised, coming away with a few sore bodies. Anyone you're looking at in particular there that you wrote about? Or?
No, just nothing. A couple of guys getting stitches in there. I think Joshy Battle's got a pretty nasty sort of corky, but we got a bit of an extended break now, so we'll have a couple of days off over the weekend and regroup on Monday. I don't think there's anyone who's going to miss if that's what you mean.
You got 10 games of evidence now. How do you think you're going?
I think we're probably about where we deserve to be. The standard that we hold ourselves to is getting higher and higher and higher, and that is the great challenge. This time last year we were in a position where it was easy to improve because we were coming from a lower base. Now we're a good side, but we're not a great side, and that's the great challenge for us now, is the standards that we hold ourselves to, and what we accept of each other. It just needs to continue make those gains, and if we continue to make those gains, we can compete with the really good sides when it really matters. And today was an opportunity that we weren't quite good enough. But I still look at the evidence that we've made progress and we're continuing to make progress. And when we play those teams, it starts, our next game is against Brisbane, so we get another chance. And we'll see how far we've come and if we can do it against them.
What do you think of your Ruckman tonight? They sort of double teamed him for a lot of the night. What do you think of him?
I thought he was excellent. He hasn't played for 12 months. He's playing against two big, strong men, and I don't know if they showed the vision of when he sort of got, not that it was deliberate or anything, but he sort of got tunnelled in the centre bounce and he landed, and he's a big man. So for him to go off, get settled, to come back on and really make a good contribution, I was really pleased with his effort. And we couldn't quite win the midfield battle, which was, I don't think it was ruck. I think it was more just they're a bit sharper than us around the ball. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.